What up, everyone? Welcome back to the Waypoint podcast. My name is Tallen, and I'm, of course, joined by Chin and Lethal. Bobby was having a bit of a tough day, so he's going to just be resting today. But real quickly, before we get into all the gaming news, because there is a ton of stuff to talk about, that Obi-Wan episode 3 real quick. I'm just gonna say brutal. Oh my gosh.
Tallen, you just went there with Obi-Wan. Okay,
I did.
was not expecting that.
Chen and I were talking about it.
I was like, wait, Star Wars game? Oh, Obi-Wan. Okay.
Whoever edits this big
Oh my God.
spoiler warning right in the front. Just pause it. Spoiler warning.
Oh my God.
Over the next couple minutes.
I'm glad I saw it this morning.
We're
crap.
not going to turn this into a TV podcast or anything like that, but we wanted to mention it. We just want to mention it real quick because, oh my gosh, that episode 3. Oh my God.
It was
Dude, that show is so good.
It is.
It was insane. My friend, as soon as I watched it, I started playing like Gang Beasts. I don't know if you guys have played Gang Beasts. Best $20
Yeah, I've heard of it.
you ever spent in your life. Best $20. I'm just throwing that out there. Gang Beasts, you're the best game for $20 ever. But I was playing with them and I was like, have you seen episode 3? And they're like, is it better than episode 2? Because that one sucks. And I was like, first off, I liked episode 2, but if you're thinking the series is bad, shut up, get off the game, watch episode 3.
Yeah, just watch episode 3 right now. Just do it.
And you tell me the series isn't good, dude. Oh. Everything about that episode.
That episode was like the big like what we've been waiting. I think a lot of people are waiting for it when they're watching this show. So it was a satisfying moment for anybody who enjoyed. Is it the prequel series? Right? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, prequel series.
Yes. Yep.
Prequel series is superior to sequel. It's not superior to original, of course. Originals.
It has definitely aged okay, but I think one of the things that definitely helped the prequels, at least in my personal opinion, was the Clone Wars TV show. Like, if
100%.
I don't know if you guys have watched that, or if you guys are watching this podcast right now. Watch that if you think that the prequels are garbage and everything. Yeah, 2 has some pretty cringe writing in it, type of thing. But watching the Clone Wars TV show and then show how it ties into episode 3 actually really works really well. So definitely worth a watch in my opinion. But anyway, bottom line, go watch Obi-Wan. Episode 3 was amazing, brutal. Again, we said spoilers. Vader kicks ass. Just, oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ. Okay, we're just going into it.
What, we put the spoilers up on the screen. Everyone should know. I'm editing. I edited this already, or I'm editing it, whatever. So I got like timestamps and everything. So make sure it goes over to the right point. So bottom line, he's a badass. So all right, let's move on.
Like there's a whole reason my computer, my custom water cooled PC was entirely based around Vader's castle. It's like the nerdiest thing I've ever done in my life because it's Darth Vader, dude. He's the greatest villain ever made.
So it was good.
It was good. All right, moving on from the movies because we're not gonna turn into that. But basically, let's talk about some gaming news. So first off, State of Play. We had a ton of news that broke out over the last couple of days when it came to the State of Play reveal. Ton of stuff. It was all third party and some VR stuff, so no first party stuff, but still a lot to go off on. So first off, Resident Evil 4 Remake. We had heard the rumors, we had heard that it was being made and everything, but we were like, is it really a remake? Is it gonna be just simply a remaster or anything? No, this is a full-blown remake. Think Final Fantasy VII Remake, part 1, and then obviously part 2 is being made currently right now. Just think that basically when you think the Resident Evil, except I don't think they're going to go into parts, and minus the time travel stuff because Nomura's not there.
I gotta interject. I think it's funny that you're like, think Final Fantasy and not Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3 that got full remakes.
that too, yeah, it is. But again,
definitely not 3, 2. Definitely 2.
I was gonna say, pretty sure 2 is the one that people like. 3, not so much, but.
Well, that plus, I think, to be fair, the team behind 2, I think, is the team behind 4. So that's what makes everybody way more excited for this one, because they're like, okay, so this one will probably be good. So
3 wasn't bad. It was just not $60 worth. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so real quickly then. So it sounds like you guys have played a good chunk of the Resident Evil games, like I have. Everyone has their favorite and everything, but what are your hopes for this upcoming 4 remake? Because it comes out like March 24th. Like it's technically not that far away. I mean, yeah, it's June right now. It's a little under a year, but again, we haven't seen any gameplay or anything, and they're saying, hey, March. So they're pretty confident on it, it sounds like. What are your guys' hopes and dreams for it?
I'll hop in. I was gonna say the Capcom seems to be on their shit when it comes to these RE remakes. Like they seem to be dropping these at like really good times that seem to work for them. Like I swear is it like every other year we get a Resident Evil game? It almost feels like
something like
at
that.
At least the last couple of ones have been like that. So them making that March release, I think they'll do it. especially because they've been doing these remakes for how long now, right? We just mentioned they just did the last couple ones, and so I think that will definitely be a no-brainer. For me personally, in terms of the remake, or how they like to call a reimagining, I'm incredibly excited for it. I did play 4 actually, I think a year or two ago. I actually just played 4 because I think I did, but I skipped around for whatever reason, and I think I went from 2 to 5. And then 6, 7, 8 for whatever. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know. That was 360 era me. So I don't know what the hell was going on with me back then. But I did go back and play it. It was cuckoo. It was a cuckoo, wacky kind of game. I'll be honest. It was definitely not what I was expecting when I played 1 or whatever and going into that game. So this feels like what I would have thought it would have been. And I'm excited to see them go more of how they've been doing the last couple ones. It seems spooky. It's got the Village vibe to it. And so I'm incredibly excited for it. I'll say that.
It's hard to say what I really want from it, because when you go back and play 4 nowadays, it still holds up really well. Now there's definitely some quality of life things they could change, like you can't move and aim in the old Resident Evil 4, so obviously I know that's going to be changed in the upcoming one, but it's weird because 4 to me is a perfect Resident Evil. I love 4. I think it's got the high anxiety factor, a good mix of action, and really just disgusting, creepy horror with the types of enemies they used in that one, as opposed to the regular zombie virus. They went with the more mutated parasite, and I thought that was a good change in the pacing for Resident Evil. And I would think for this new one, for me, it's just pop it in the engine and I'll be happy to replay pretty much the same game. I've seen people say they want additions, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. I just hope they don't take anything out. I don't want cuts in the game.
I hate to tell you that, Chen, but they are changing some things. According to the PlayStation blog, they did drop that they do want to make some story beat changes to kind of fit what they're going with the remake. So personally, I'm down for that. I like keeping the original as the original, and if they want to try something new, right, or they want to go with a little bit more of a streamlined kind of story thing, personally, I'm down for that. But it seems like they are doing that. Don't know how much, but expect maybe some little things are is this where Ada Wong comes in, huh? You expect something like that where it's oh, okay, this is where we're gonna go with this. Okay,
that makes a lot more sense. And the fact that if they want to streamline it, it's going to be a big shock for him to see Ada, because he thinks she's dead at the end of 2. And then he sees her alive and stuff. Those are changes I would love. I just mean same. In 3 where they just completely cut content that should have been in the game. I don't want them to all of a sudden skip the lake. They won't. I can tell. I saw the lake in the trailer. Or El Gigante and stuff. I don't want them to just cut it just cause. That's what I mean. But if they're gonna make it more cohesive with the story and the continuity they've made with the remakes, I'm totally on board with that. I think that'd be great, and that's why I'm so excited for this game.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for it personally. I do remember the very first time I ever played a Resident Evil game. It was 4, and I remember the whole can't aim and shoot thing. And I actually threw my controller. I was like, dude, this is garbage. And I was a kid when I played it, right?
Yeah.
When I tried it out. I came back though a little bit later. I was like, okay, I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but I get it, and I got used to it, and I played through the game and everything like that. So and I enjoyed 8/Village. It's technically Village. When we got to stream and everything like that. I remember we got emails saying don't call it 8, it's Village. So they're very particular about that apparently. But yeah, I'm definitely super excited for this personally, and I hope that it will deliver. So we'll wait and see, because Capcom has to know this is a big one. 2 and 3 are obviously they are what they are. 4 is the one. They cannot mess this up. They know that.
Was it Capcom sending those emails saying to not call it 8?
It was whoever their marketing person was. They're it was because all it was during, because it was basically when we were trying to react to their live stream and everything, and they gave us some
they gave us I remember
some art and stuff that
I think I was in charge of that. I think I did the stream that day. That was fun.
Right? Yeah, you probably did.
You might have.
But right, but I simply remember seeing in the email, when it came to the name, it said Resident Evil Village, and in parentheses, not 8.
That's
so
I
was just
funny.
Okay.
Because in every trailer, they make the
Yeah.
VIII
Yeah.
gold Because
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I mean, I'm not the marketing person.
Maybe they're
I don't
tired
know.
of seeing Resident Evil 8, and then because I do remember seeing the 8 all there all the time, right? But then it was like near the end, they really were pushing the village thing. So I was just like, okay, fine, call it village.
Do you guys think they're gonna keep like a lot of those like little quick actions in the remake? Do you think they'll keep some of that stuff in there? Or do you think they're just gonna take it out?
You know,
I think they will if it works. I guess. I don't know.
I don't see them doing it.
Scenes,
I don't know.
I mean, maybe
I
don't know. QuickTime events don't seem like I feel like there was this age of video games where QuickTime events were.
Well, this game was so I feel like so big with it. Like almost every 2 seconds, it was like I'm waiting for that prompt to come up so I can get ready to do some crazy shit. Like that's at least when I played. That's how I remember it. So
I remember like around the same time, Spider-Man 3, the game had so many QuickTime events.
Oh my God,
I played so many games around that time. I hated the QuickTime events of Spider-Man.
God of War, like everything. But at least God of War did it well, though.
Yeah,
So.
everything did it. I hope we're past that. I would love for them that they can cut that out. That is fine by me.
Yeah.
You want to cut that content?
All right. Well, moving on, because again, State of Play had a ton of extra stuff. So the second one that I didn't type here in our little chat here, but one thing I'll quickly bring up because it's an amazing game, obviously. Spider-Man Remastered coming to PC, showing again that Sony is finally bringing some of these big games to the PC side of it and everything like that. Absolutely, if you guys have not played Spider-Man or you're hoping for it to come to PC and everything like that, guess what? It comes out in August, which is awesome. I mean, all of us here, I believe, have played it. Awesome game. Miles Morales DLC as well. Awesome. Plus 2 is coming out sometime. I was really hoping we would have seen something from the State of Play, but we didn't. But hey, we know it's still alive at least. So
I can't believe they're doing it.
Yeah,
I
I saw that Miles was coming sometime in the fall as well. Insomniac tweeted that.
Yeah, they're gonna I think do them almost like a bundle kind of thing. I think is what they're planning on doing.
Oh yeah, easily. Oh,
so that's what they're gonna do.
Excited.
But that's a crazy one. This was probably one of the last games that I would have thought they were gonna have put on the PC, just because
I remember
the attachment rate with Spider-Man and PlayStation is ridiculous. So that's such a crazy move.
Yeah, well. And it's interesting because someone took a screenshot of Insomniac saying this will never go anywhere else aside from Sony saying, but it clearly shows you that Sony is the one who has the final say in that, right? Yeah. If Sony says, you know, hey, we can put our other first party game like God of War and Horizon and everything on PC, and then if they say, you know what, fine, put it on PC as Spider-Man on PC and everything like that, Sony has the rights if they can say, yeah, put it on there.
This mean, guys?
They're clearly not going to put it on.
I'm calling right now in this podcast. I'm calling it right now. The next showcase event, we're gonna get a look at Spider-Man 2. I'm calling it now.
I'm hoping.
I'm calling it now because for them to make a move like this, to bring this back out into the ether and everything, like everybody's gonna be talking about this once this drops on PC. It's gonna make millions of dollars and whatnot. Like it's such an interesting game to drop when we are still waiting on a release date for the Uncharted Legacy Collection. Like they announced that coming to PC. Where the hell is that shit at? But we got a release date with the Spider-Man coming to PC. So like in my mind, when they do another big event, which they should probably be doing a bigger showcase event at some point, I'm calling it out. They're gonna show something for Spider-Man 2.
It would be, yeah.
I really expect it, and the reason, I mean, there's 2 things too. Like we got to see more God of War because God of War's free right now for PlayStation Plus users.
Yeah, that's another big one.
They're doing that, announcing Spider-Man for PC, which I love. I love that they're doing that. Like I want more people to play it because I see so many bad takes, so many wrong, incorrect opinions about Spider-Man, and I know it's just from people who never got the chance to play it. And finally, they can shut up because it is like one of the best games I've ever played. It is the best Marvel game.
Or what's gonna happen is they're gonna play it and be like, no, it's still garbage, but in their mind and in private and everything, they're loving the game. They're playing it 24/7. You know,
they're like in their bathroom, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! You should have seen the hardcore like PlayStation fanboys. They were like, "No, not my Spider-Man going to PC." I'm like, "Come on, bro! It's been like 4 or 5 years. How many years? Like 5 now? 6?
It's been so.
It's been
so long. This is 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing too. It's like, dude, it's been so many years.
So what?
Relax.
Like you're still gonna get Spider-Man 2 like day one on PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
not
You're
much
gonna
of a
get a day.
difference.
Yeah, exactly. All the hardcore fanboys, you're gonna get Spider-Man 2 day one. It'll come out on PC a couple years later after that. You know, whatever. Who cares?
Well, they're also Sony's really smart about this because they're releasing these games while the hype around their next one is coming out. So
Yeah,
there's going to be
smart.
people who are patient,
Strategic.
who are like,
They're
what,
smart,
I don't need to buy a PS5 for Spider-Man 2. It'll come out eventually. But they're going to get a lot of people who are like, dude, that Spider-Man was awesome.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can get a
gotta
PS5
play it, right?
now. They're finally in
It's been
stock.
like,
and I
oh
can just
man,
drop
that
a little
release
bit and
date
get
dropped for
2 and God of
Spider-Man
War
2.
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yep, and especially because they're finally, it's still slow, unfortunate, and I think they said around late 2023 is when they hope to have PlayStation 5 consoles like back in regular swing and everything, right? So, and you are starting to see them pop up every now and then, more and more. I mean, especially because you have other things like graphics cards and everything that are becoming more and more available. So, and then when people get to play it on PC, the first Spider-Man, and they're like, huh, that PlayStation 5 and I just heard Spider-Man 2's got a release date now. Yoink. So, it's definitely happened.
I don't know if this was talked about the last podcast. I can't remember. I feel like it's been a while. Did you guys see that statistic of how many PS5s are selling in like a minute?
Mm-hmm. Was it
Like,
80,000?
I don't think we talked about that.
I don't know, but it
Something like
was
that.
like
We
it was like
didn't, no.
roughly 1,000 PS5 sell in a minute. They sell about almost 90,000 units in less than an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Like-
in their investor meeting they talked about it. I wish I could have bring that up, but it was something like that. Yeah.
That's insane to me. Like, it's also crazy because it shows that they are getting PS5s out there. They're just going way faster
wrong
than I think
people.
I've seen
Okay,
anything
ready?
ever sell before.
Real
Yeah.
quick stat.
I
Real
think the only
quick
thing I
stat.
feel like that's sold like this is like the Wii.
Yeah. All right.
So
go ahead. What do you-
real
what do you
quick
got,
stat. The PS4, basically in the same life cycle for the PS4 and PS5, the PS4 was 80,000 units in 9 days, whereas the PS5 was 80,000 units in 82 minutes. It's like
Holy
monstrous.
crap.
As they're going out,
Damn.
they're getting out. Like that's just pretty much how it's working. Like that's as quick as it is.
I think we did mention something though, because we were talking about the whole like Xbox, because it was when they had delayed their games and everything, but we said that you could find Xboxes no problem and everything. I don't remember if it was us or maybe it would have been Bobby or something like that. I just don't remember. But I remember somebody saying like, if Sony didn't have these issues with the hardware and everything, right? Like not be able to get this out to everybody, like it would be a pretty crazy quote unquote console race and everything going on right now. Like this kind of shows that. So,
I mean, it's already kind of one-sided. Let's be honest.
yeah.
But if Sony could meet demand, dude, I could see this being the best-selling. Like, it's the perfect time for this console. We're still in a pandemic worldwide. People are still stuck at home. People are excited about Spider-Man, God of War, being able to play with their friends. Like, there is not a better time for a console maker to sell a console. Like, I could see this being in the very top, if not the highest selling console of all time, if it could meet demand. I mean, if demand keeps being short, it's never going to make it, because then there's going to be a PS5 Pro, PS6, and unfortunately it's like the 30 series of graphics cards, right? I mean, rumors are already that the 40 series is coming out soon.
Yeah, those things are going to be sold out in 2 seconds, then you're never going to see them for like
people
a
never
year.
even got 30 series. The whole lifespan of that graphics
I finally
card
got mine.
done. I got one.
Yeah, I finally
How
got
do you
mine.
like yours?
So I love it. It just cranks shit out. Like I'll look at my stats and reads and everything like that, and it's just like 20% being used. There's just like full on everything running, no problem. I'm just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No problem. I love it.
Exactly.
It's so fun to
It does get a little hot though, and I expected that obviously because it's a beast. So I definitely turn the fans on, but I'm never one of those guys who cares about having my PC fans on. Like I usually have them about 50%
You had the
going.
same exact reaction to me when you opened that up and you sent that picture. You were like, this thing is gigantic. When I saw
Dude, it's a thick boy. Like holy crap, it is thick. I compared it to my 1080. I took my 1080, which is only about this thick, and it's the same length, give or take, maybe a tiny bit longer, but the thickness, it's like double it. I was like,
dude,
oh my gosh,
it's like a double Big Mac, dude. Like that thing is
it is. It's a double Big Mac of graphics cards. That's literally what it
it's
is.
Huge. I love it. It's awesome. The power.
It is. It's awesome. All right, we're getting off topic here. So
My
anyway,
bad.
Spider-Man though, PC players 100% play it. It's absolutely worth the money. I mean, you guys all. I mean, we all saw the sales for Horizon. God of War broke some PC records and everything, I'm sure. So I'm sure Spider-Man is going to do the exact same thing because of all the praise it's gotten and everything. Although I will say, original look of the Peter Parker in that game over the new one. Just saying right now, it's it is a stat,
Yes.
and it is facts, and you can't deny it. So
yes, it is facts.
anyway, moving on to the next thing that was announced in the Sony State of Play and everything like that was Street Fighter 6. Now, I'm personally I'm not the biggest fighting game guy. I definitely played my share fair of fighters. I've played some BlazBlue. I've played a little Street Fighter 4 and 5 when they came out, but obviously they have their fans and everything like that, so I'm really happy for that. It definitely looks nice though. From what I saw, it looks like a very pretty game. And they're finally actually bringing in the whole Streets Fighter to it with that trailer and everything.
I see what you did there, Talon. I see what you did.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
That game looks good.
I have my moments and everything. I have my moments.
It's got some good shots really in that trailer. Well, you know,
it does. Yeah,
some classic characters. You know, it was like Chun-Li.
And I like how one of the main characters, he's rocking the beard just like you, Chin. So
I want it for the story, for the character arcs, for the fighting, and Chun-Li's thighs. That is. You just described like 90% of the player base probably. Whether they admit it or not, they're all there for that. Come on,
yeah.
that's a console seller right there, right?
Well, it's coming. I mean, it's coming out on PS5. Obviously, is it PS4 too?
Probably.
I don't remember. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not though.
Okay, and is it PC as well? I know it's not Xbox.
No, I lied. It is. It's everything. This is Street Fighter finally coming back to every platform again.
Everything. Okay. Good. Well, except for Switch, but yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Do I want to play?
Okay. So that's good though. So Xbox and PlayStation will get it at 4K 60, and you'll get to see the thighs and everything there, Chin. And then
everybody
PC players
gets
can
thighs.
Go, 4K 60. I got 4K 120.
Thighs for everybody. There's enough Chun-Li thighs to go around. I love it.
There we go. All right. So anyways, that was another big announcement. And then the final big announcement, again, there are some other stuff like some VR stuff and everything. So not trying to deny anything, but obviously we could be here for 2 hours. But the last big announcement was definitely the Final Fantasy 16 trailer. And it seems that the whole news thing about going around about how this game is almost done, or like this trailer is done, according to some other translations with from Yoshi P and everything, it seems the trailer is done. The game is releasing in the summer of 2023, which, hey, by all means, more time on the game, take your time. But the team that is making it seems pretty stacked. A lot of people looking at who's like behind the writing, who's behind production, who's the developers and everything like that. Now, not to say that automatically makes the game, a 10 out of 10 or anything like that, but it shows major promise for it. And I liked it. I liked what I saw and everything. It doesn't look like it's gonna be your typical turn-based style Final Fantasy game. It looks to be more taking ropes from like Final Fantasy 15 in terms of the combat, I should say.
Yeah, definitely not with the guy behind Devil May Cry.
Overall, I was
the guy behind Devil May Cry is helping with that. There's no way we're gonna see it like turn-based.
Yeah. So exactly. But it looks good.
I want to say my thing before I let Lethal go on, because I know he's hyped about this. I know he's a big fan. I want to say it's not that I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy, but they're not really my games. As much as I have tried and really wanted to, they're I don't know, they just don't stick, which just sucks because I feel like they're really good. But like that trailer was one of the sickest things I've seen in so long, and like I want this game. I want it. I want to play it. Get it on the 5.9 account so I don't have to buy it. This looks. I'm gonna let you go. I'm just saying, like, even from a non-fan,
what I'm gonna try and do. Right.
Like that was
what I'm gonna try and do real quick is when I go to Tokyo Game Show in September, because I'm signing fine up for it and everything like that. I'm gonna try and go talk to Square. I'm dead serious about this. I'm gonna go try and talk with some of the Square representatives and be like, look, a lot of us here are Final Fantasy fans, or we like to play some of these games and everything like that. Would it be okay if we could get a code to properly review this game and everything like that? So we'll have to wait and see. But regardless, we're gonna get the game on the account regardless. So
shot.
Dude, I can't wait. This is gonna be so good.
I will. There we go. Hey, it'll be a good chance for me to really up my Japanese level, really talk to the guys and everything like that. And see, we're a very international group of people and everything like that. So we're down for reviewing the game and everything. So, but yeah. So Lethal, we can tell though that you really want to talk about it. What do you got, man? What do you say on this game?
They got like summon battles. Like there's this one of the biggest things I think to walk away from this trailer was the fact that they're like the story. Like if anybody caught little glimpses and like glimmers of the story, this is clearly going back to like, I kind of like this Final Fantasy where this goes back into the direction of like more like fantasy, right? More like medieval kind of times where there's nations and tribes, and there's, you know, everybody prays to the god of the summons, and the summons are like the big, like, you know, Attack on Titan / whatever you want to call it. Like, it's so cool the fact that they're going back to that kind of vibe, especially with someone with like Yoshi P behind it, which has been, you know, we all know Final Fantasy 14 has been apparently this online Final Fantasy game that's been popping off that I haven't played, especially someone who loves Final Fantasy games. And so clearly after that last trailer, my man's is popping off. And with the team, like Tallen said, is there's people that have done like some of the Final Fantasy Tactics games. Like there's people who have done like DMC, like the guy behind Devil May Cry is behind this too. Like you can kind of see that from that action. And so there's so much going for this that's going to finally make it like kind of just a little bit deviate from the other kind of games. And mind you, they've had other games that have kind of deviated. This to me is kind of like what they want to do for 15, but we all know like the craziness that 15 kind of went through and how it ended up being and everything.
Oh, that hell of a development
it's like
cycle
I feel
right
like
there.
they wanted that to get that direction, but didn't really get there with 15. But this is like where they wanted to go with it. And I just think the setting, most people, you know, they like more of like that like edgy kind of punk kind of Final Fantasy with like the 6 belts going across the chest. Like we all probably want to see that kind of Final Fantasy. But this going back to like, you know, like again, like medievalish kind of times and everything, is super freaking exciting. And I think the coolest thing about this was the summons. Huh?
Yeah, well, it still had some modern stuff to it, though. I mean, like you said, it's clearly a definitely more older Final Fantasy looking style with the knights and the armor and everything. But I do remember seeing a couple of you know, figures and everything where it was a more modern look, I guess. Not exactly the 20,000 zippers that you see across everybody, but you know, it still looks somewhat modern. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see something like that, or you know,
kind of like that.
Final Fantasy, it's Square Enix. Time travel might happen. Who knows? You know, dude comes from the past or the future. I don't know what.
What was that recent Final Fantasy? The Paradise. What was that called?
Yeah, you're right. Origins of Paradise. Something like that.
Yeah,
maybe that kind of vibe where it feels like it's like modern and fantasy at the same time. And
right, exactly. Yeah, and you can clearly tell that game was kind of like not I don't want to call it a demo or anything to take away from it, but definitely like a experiment essentially, right? To kind of see how things would work. And I mean, it didn't sell the best, but it did very well from what I understand. Although Square will probably look at it and go, "Nah, didn't sell as much as Final Fantasy 7, so crap." So, but I'm definitely excited for it. It would definitely be interesting to see. And a lot of the stuff now, I did see a couple of written interviews out here yesterday that were popping up online. We're saying that it's still doing very well in development. They're doing a lot of like touch-ups and final stuff right now in order to really get polished and everything. So if that's June now and they're doing that now into summer, all for it. Yeah,
they must really want to like, this is going to be a big release for them. Clearly, because they're putting in and you know, giving a lot of time for this game. And so for them, because I think a lot of us all thought when Yoshi P had put out that like, yeah, they pretty much were like kind of done with the game, they got the trailer kind of done and everything, they're kind of polishing it up. That summer 23 release is like, oh damn, like they're really gonna polish this up, and this is gonna be a really smooth game with, again, what they kind of should have done with 15. So they seem to be taking this really serious, because this is supposed to be the game to bring back Final Fantasy, because a lot of people have said Final Fantasy's kind of fallen off. It's not really the same anymore, and you could tell like Yoshi P and the team is like serious behind making this a really good title to remember.
Yoshi P has probably put his foot down and is like,
I mean, you saw him in the trailer. We were all like, my man's looks tired, bro. He looks fucking tired, man. Let him rest after. Let the whole team rest after this.
He is. I mean, he's been. I mean, Square Enix has been pushing, like, total side note here. Square Enix has been trying to do this whole like NFT stuff and everything like that, regardless of what you think of that. Yoshi P though has literally come out and be like, I don't want that BS in here, get that out of here, essentially like that. So he has probably put his foot down as a director and is like, no, this is when it's releasing, or no, we need more time on this, you do this now. Essentially they're like, okay, look, you have our gem Final Fantasy 14 working right now, we'll listen to you, basically. So hopefully that's the case right there.
It looks good though. It looks really good, dude.
It does.
The gameplay,
definitely excited.
They had those little cinematic touches like 7 Remake did. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, dude. That's like that next generation of like Final Fantasy that I love to see with them with combat and stuff like that. It looks really good.
Yeah, and then those giant summon battles like Chin mentioned earlier, those look pretty badass.
It's like kaiju battles. I'm like, oh hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, the kaiju battles.
Come on, that's my shit right there, man. You're mixing that into Final Fantasy.
Like, yeah, kaiju battles.
Come on, dude.
Too fucking cool, dude. Like,
I can't wait.
Like that.
He's just like, dude.
That was awesome. I also loved the music, the score they chose, and like the orchestra singing all the gods' names.
Yeah,
that was just like,
dude,
that put me in the mood. I was like, yo. That was awesome.
Final Fantasy has always done music very well, though. I mean, even the Final Fantasy 7 remake did well. You know, Final Fantasy 15, 14's had good music. So like, the music I always expected to be good. So we'll definitely have to see how it turns out, though. Again, summer 2023 is a little long, but let's be honest here, it's really not that far. So we've got some other stuff to look forward to. Yeah. All right. So aside from that, though, there were some other announcements that we've had shown up on the screen here a couple times now over the course of us talking. Just other state of play stuff, but overall I'd say very positive. A lot of people were very impressed with the state of play and everything like that, so we'll have to wait and see. And one thing that has a lot of people split, not mad, but split, I would say, was this multi-day reveal of gameplay and traveling and everything like that in the new Sonic Frontier game. And it's something, to say the least, in my personal opinion. I definitely think the gameplay trailer did a little bit better than the first trailer. Like, the first trailer was just like randomly wandering around and doing the exact same thing, and I was just like, okay, we know it's open world and everything like that, but it looks barren as hell. And then the gameplay one started off a little rough, but overall I think improved a little bit based on what I've seen people's reactions from. But I don't know. They haven't really given a release date. Initially, I thought 2022, like end of it, but I'm like, dude, you better make this a 2023 release. Like, holy crap.
I think it will.
Know, what are your guys' thoughts?
I think it's gonna get delayed. I would say
like
the fandom, the Sonic fans are not exactly happy with it. I'll give my 2 cents on it. When I first saw the initial reveal and everything, that first trailer for it, I thought it was pretty cool. I was pretty excited for it. I'd be honest when I say that when I watched the combat one, though, that just dropped today, that shit, it didn't look at all what I was hoping it was gonna look like. It just, it's got that, like, it's just got that look where you're like it's hard. I feel like the thing is too is like, this is Sonic, right? Like, we're not expecting Sonic to toss out like Kamehamehas or something. Like, what are we expecting Sonic to do besides like what, a homing attack? Like, that's why I always feel like
a ball and home into the enemy and hit
right. So like it's like I
does.
can't get mad because I can't really expect what else can Sonic kind of do. But I don't know. It's gonna be hard to kind of I don't know. It's like you said. It looks like it's very like it's obviously looks like it's super like dead and there's nothing much
very
there.
Early tech demo-ish.
Yeah,
type
like
of style,
it does have that look to it, but
I
I don't know, man. I think it was the combat for me that I was like, something about it just looks like it's missing something. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's the music too. The music is not very, like what you would hear from Sonic games. It's very like, I don't know, some type of like Elden Ring type shit. I don't know. It feels weird. Like it's a mashup mix of what you're like, okay, this is weird because this is a Sonic game, but you're excited because they're trying to do some like Shadow of the Colossus meets Sonic somewhere in the middle, and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, I see what they want to do with it, but then you think about it, you're like, well, this is Sonic, so like I can't expect them to do something crazy. But I don't know what they've shown. It's like, this looks okay. Combat to me looks really like not that great, if I'm being honest, but I like the idea of like, traveling the world and there's like different puzzles and stuff like that. Like that's Sonic-ish to me. So it's like, okay, I can kind of get that. I get that. And then I do think a lot of people make a lot of great points where they're like, Sonic's about being fast. And so you're seeing lots of parts where like you can't really go fast or it slows you down. And it's just like, this just feels weird. Like, it doesn't feel, it's just a weird take for Sonic. So when you look at it, you're like, this does, feel a little bit off from what you'd expect. But I think at the end of the day, I'm still excited for it. It's something different. As a 3D Sonic person, who my favorite games are Adventure 1 and Adventure Battle 2. I'm excited for it, but I will say I'm not expecting this to be like, I think the dev team was like, they want this game to win awards. And I was like, homie, I'm not sure if you're winning awards either this year or next year, but I do think it'll be, it'll be a fun, different Sonic game, right? But I don't think this is going to be like the best Sonic ever, but we'll have to see. I don't know.
What about you, Chin?
My 2 cents is I have not been excited or cared about a Sonic game since Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast.
Hey, my man, that's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
And that is still how I feel. So if that tells you anything, it's been a long time since Sonic has been like, oh, I'm gonna get that. No Sonic game has made me want to pick it up since Sonic Adventure.
It's just weird though, because I remember when I watched the gameplay reveal, and I actually saw Rhyme Style post a quick little reaction to it, and I watched it again, and in the beginning I was on the same page as Lethal. I was just like, what is this combat? Because like he would like home in on this multi-ball type of electric enemy or something like that, and then you just do like this 1-2 kick punch combo, and then randomly float back down. I was just like, what?
Yeah, and then like the whirlwind kick that he's doing, it's like it doesn't look like it's looking like it's off center. Like here's the enemy, but here's this whirlwind kick, and I'm like, bro, like come over here and do your like. There's so many parts where I'm like, this. I know everybody likes to argue like, oh, it's a very early build, but it's like, I don't know. Well, but this game is also supposed to come out this year, so it's like that doesn't sound good either. So
and again, even though yes, it is an early concept, right? And clearly a few animation hiccups here and there, that stuff can easily get changed and everything. But the main premise of it, right? The way that the fundamentals of it, that's there to stay most likely. Again, I've brought this up so many times. Battlefield, other games, right? The same excuse. It's just an early build. Guys, look at what happened to those games. Just look at what happened, right? Now, again, I'm not saying this game is making Sonic dead or anything like that. There's still obviously a ton of stuff we need to see. But when it came to the combat, at least, that first section was very like, what? And then near the middle, they did actually have a more traditional Sonic combat where you just see him go up to those normal size enemies, spin, home in on them, beat them. Like normal stuff, right? And then he had the occasion, and then again, he did that like multi-kick thing where it's like sending out the wave dashes or whatever. And then they had the giant Colossus type battle, which kind of makes sense. But again, it's inconsistency, right? Where one moment looks like this, one moment is actually looking good, one is looking bad, and it's just like, what's going on here? So I don't know if there's another trailer that's expected within the next week or so. I mean, especially because this is now kind of prime quote unquote E3 time.
I think they're doing,
we'll have to wait and see what's
doing it for like the whole month, I think, or something like that. Like,
is it for the whole month? Okay,
or something where they're like doing a bunch of like little trailers for whatever reason. I don't know.
Here and there, yeah. All right, so keep your eyes peeled. I believe it's the IGN who has the first look at this stuff. Like they get the first trailers and everything. And we'll stick our own Iron Kane on this because he's a huge Sonic fan, and I'm gonna make him pump out like 20,000 videos.
Yeah, he can, because he'll be excited about it no matter what. Let's get someone who enjoys it to go do it, huh?
Exactly. So, and then we'll probably bring him on for another podcast and be like, all right, dude, tell us why this is good.
Yeah.
So
why should we buy this when it's coming out in like 2 months? Because it shouldn't be coming out in 2 months.
It's probably gonna get delayed, just like everything else. I'm still half expecting God of War to get delayed. So
it should.
Yeah.
Tallen,
we'll have to wait and
bring
see,
us to the best news. Come on.
Okay.
I want to talk about
the best news. Okay. So last thing we talked about, which by the way, we have a full breakdown on everything that you probably did miss in the trailer, including some extra little hidden secrets and names and everything that Lethal did. Again, check out that video in the top right corner. It'll also be at the end of the video. But we got a brand new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer. Lots of information, including they had a website little update as well in terms of talking about the professors, the starter Pokemon and everything like that, the names of the legendary Pokemon, which has some actual Japanese meaning to them, which we'll get into a little bit later. But Chin, you're bouncing out of your seat, bro. Go for it.
I know, I saw that smirk, Chin.
Fucking co-op, dude. What?
My headset's falling off.
I get to travel the world with my friends in a Pokemon game? Shut up, dude. That is day one buy. I don't care, dude. I haven't been this hyped
day one
in
buy
hella
regardless.
long. I was telling my friends, I was like, I don't even care if they pull the Pokemon Sword and Shield where they don't have every Pokemon. I'm like, at least they're bringing something new to the table. Like, I saw the trailer and it looked like it had things from Arceus. Like, I saw sneaking up on Pokemon. I saw what looked like just throwing a Pokeball and catching it. And then I saw battling Pokemon. And now I can just have 4 of my friends just go explore the world and we can just go around anywhere we want. And there's no linearness to the gym battles. You can just go to gym battle to gym battle to gym battle in whatever order you want. And like, they're finally like changing it. Like it's the same, but different. Same.
It's that little bit of different that we've been asking for, just that little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like they were like, it's like they knew what was best about Arceus. I mean, hopefully I'm right that Arceus system is there with catching the Pokemon because they're out in the open world. And I saw them sneaking up on a Pokemon. So I was like, that has to be it.
I think it's still traditional. I think it's still traditional.
Well, okay. So I noticed this because I remember when again, check out the video, guys. But Lethal did a breakdown video of everything like that. And I believe they did mention it in the website and everything like that, where it's like, quote unquote, traditional catching Pokemon is quote unquote back. but it was never gone in Arceus. That's the thing. You had an
It's
option,
optional,
right?
yeah.
You could sneak up on a Pokemon and catch it from the back and surprise it and just make it faster like that. Or I could literally select my Pokemon, throw the Pokemon out there, battle it, and catch it. I don't know why people think that it wasn't in Arceus. It was.
It was completely.
It was
there.
never gone. So I don't know why people are like, yeah, it's back. It's like, never left.
Don't
You
scare
guys
me
just
because I
clearly
swear
never
they like
used it.
You guys saw it, or like they were crouching near the Pokeball.
Yeah, no.
I think they're
all the
like
Pokemon are in the wild.
I think they're doing certain things from, like, at the end of the day, they're going to take some stuff probably from Arceus. And I do think what looks like they're going to be doing is maybe you can sneak up on a Pokemon and maybe you'll be able to have like a higher percentage of catching it. But they did make it a point, at least on the official website, to be like, hey, we're bringing back the traditional stuff because all you people kept complaining about it in Arceus. That was like, I don't want to just catch my Pokemon with the Pokeball, because so many people complained about that. And you could tell, like, you could tell these games were co-developed at the same time, because this was going to be the one to make people be like, oh, they're bringing it back, thank God. And then, you know, like, that's what they're doing with this. But I guarantee you, Jin, the next iteration of Pokemon, next gen, they will bring what the Arceus did with that, because a lot of people at the end of the day, when the game came out and played it, were like, oh, it was so easy to do the Pokedex that way. Like, yeah, no shit, because you could just toss the damn Pokeballs out there.
Yeah.
But I won't be surprised if they bring that back.
I'm telling you, that take has to be from people who did not play it. They saw.
Yeah, no, it has to. It has to, because you literally, again, you just throw, because think of it this way, right? Like so when you're playing Arceus, especially when you're in the end game and you're doing like the space distortions and everything like that, right? Like, you can't just, like, you pop up in front of Pokemon, right? They get the red exclamation point above their head, and you, no matter how many Pokeballs you throw at it, it just bounces off of them. So you have to battle them, just like you normally do, and then you throw the Pokemon. This isn't rocket science. So clearly the people who complained about it didn't play it, or they only played like 2 seconds of it and were like, nah, F this, I want my,
they looked
2D
up quick
Game Boy game back.
They looked up quick gameplay on YouTube, or they watched a quick stream, and they saw people shiny hunting, and they were like, oh, it's that Pokemon. And I'm like, shut up. This is the best Pokemon that's ever been made.
Clearly you got, clearly whoever says that stuff, you did not actually play it, because you could catch Pokemon the normal way and you could sneak up on them and everything like that.
If we get
now, one thing they are bringing back, obviously, that wasn't in Arceus was I think the more traditional Pokemon battles in terms of the trainers, right? Having just random trainers out in the open and everything like that. You walk by.
I'm happy to
so
have
maybe that's what the website was kind of talking about, where quote unquote more traditional battles, where, because they do show that in the trailer, right? The guy's walking, or the main character's walking, and then the trainer on the side of the road, right?
Youngster.
So maybe that's what's quote unquote coming back in a more traditional sense. And then in terms of catching Pokemon in normal wild battles, you can do either sneak up on them or, do a quote unquote normal battle and everything like that. But again, anyone who says that the normal battles were not in, again, wild Pokemon, were not in Arceus, go play the game again. They were there from the beginning.
If someone comes into our comments and is like, I did play the game, it wasn't there, I am going to call you a liar. I'm right
there with you.
You didn't play the game. You're lying. I don't care.
But
I'm so excited, and I know Lethal's not, but I'm Team Scarlet after seeing those legendaries.
I'm upset because Chin was rewind, or someone bring it up from like a past episode. I swear to God, Chin was all for Team Violet, and then saw the damn legendary and was like, I'm sorry, bro, but I gotta go Scarlet. I was like, what? What happened?
You're right. I was Team Violet, and I even told that to my friends. I was like, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm going with Scarlet, dude, because he just looks like a sick dragon, dude.
I think my girlfriend is Team Scarlet, and I'm Team Violet. So I'm just like, hey, we get the best of both worlds. She and I can just play the game together, and then we get the best of both worlds.
That's what I was saying. I was like, oh, okay,
Lethal was like,
people are getting it, so I was like, that's good, because I don't know anybody who's gonna get Scarlet yet. So I was like, okay, at least I know somebody who's getting it, just in case.
Oh, you're fine.
Because you know they're gonna do like exclusives and stuff like that. Like I can only. Like they already showed trading, and they showed I think it was Bagon and Larvitar. The two damn Pokemon they always choose to be in separate games because they're assholes, and they want to make sure that like you just can't have the best of both in one game. So that's one thing I'll definitely be trading.
I hope Bagon's in mine. I want to shiny hunt him.
Oh, is it Bagon? I think I said Bagon. I always say Bagon.
It doesn't matter how you say it. I know who you're talking about. So, okay. The real question is, who is your starter? Because I am picking the kitty cat.
Oh, Sprigatito.
Yeah, Lethal has those names down. Lethal has the names
That's
down.
the Spanish coming out.
I know what I just asked a question.
Dude. It's totally fine. I
But-
mean, dude, you probably cringe at us trying to pronounce their names. You're like, dude, that's not how you pronounce their names.
No, hold on. Y'all saw Lechonk, right?
Yeah.
Y'all saw Lechonk, dude.
That was a
That little
surprise.
pig.
That was
That
a
is the
surprise.
greatest Pokemon I have ever seen. Lechonk is a name I would give it if I caught it as a joke. And they're like, nope, that's just his name. And I don't know how it's going to change as it evolves, but I feel like I'm just going to nickname it Lechonk so it stays that way through every evolution. Because that is the funniest, most genius. That is the best name they've ever made. You
have to stream it when you do that, when you nickname it. You have to stream it on 5.9 and then be like, LeChonk is here, folks. And
he's like, oh, my fat little piggy Lechonk. Like, I love it, dude. I was dying when I saw that name. I was like, I can't believe they did that.
How do you guys feel about the other ones that got shown off?
Oh, love Lechonk. Favorite Pokemon.
Okay, so you're going with Grass Chin. Lethal, who are you going with?
I'm gonna go for Donald Duck.
Donald Duck?
Yeah,
okay.
Donald Duck.
I was originally gonna go Kitty Cat, but I kind of have to go Donald Duck now. I kind of have to because
he's gonna let you guys down just like Kingdom Hearts.
No, don't say that. All right, don't say that. That's the reason why I'm getting him, because he reminds me of magician Donald Duck from Kingdom Hearts. I was like, no, that's the homie right there. That's the homie.
Okay, I had nothing to do with Kingdom Hearts from my choice. My main reason for it is because I've always loved flying Pokemon, right? And he's clearly a duck. So my hope, again, I could be let down by the time we do see the inevitable quote unquote spoilers for the final evolutions, which, by the way, they will reveal those final evolutions before the games come out. They always do. I'm expecting it though to be a flying water type Pokemon.
I don't think so, Tallen.
Right? So,
I don't think so.
I know.
I don't think so.
That's my expectations, but I'm expecting that it could be something else. So I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, and like, okay, fine, it is what it is, right? But if they do go the water flying type route, or who knows, maybe they want to do 3 types.
It's gonna be fighting. It's gonna be fighting.
3 types would be cool.
Hey, quick note real quick though, many of the flying Pokemon in these past few games, they have fighting moves, so
that's true. That's
true. Combat and stuff.
Regardless. Anyway, so that's my personal reason. If I had to pick a second though, I easily do go with the Grass Cat. I definitely go with it. I just hope the final evolutions look good, because I've been let down by the starters, like especially from what was it, Black and White, and then we saw the final evolutions, like the final evolution of the grass from Black and White, like
which one was that?
Became
one?
a bigger snake.
That was superior. Do not trash talk Superior in front of me. He is goated.
No, okay, the grass starter from Black and White, dude. Like, come on, that final evolution. I was just like,
it's better than Emroar and
Snivy's cool. Snivy's cool though. The final evolution, not the biggest fan of, at least for me personally.
Tepig walked so that Lechonk could run. That's all.
That's the only thing I can think of is like Tepig.
I already have one title in here. Lechonk is coming. That is going in the title of this podcast. It's happening.
He's my number one. I hope you're so wrong on the water type, because like he looks like a little sailor. He's gonna turn into some Popeye son of a bitch. Like he's gonna come up with like some meaty arms, and he's gonna be water fighting just like.
Oh my god. He's gonna be water fighting. I know it. He's gonna become water fighting, bro. His description is like he likes to kick.
The sailor outfit. He's gonna turn into like a marine at the end, like a water marine from One Piece or something.
Or who knows? Maybe he will be water fighting, but he has like a quote unquote mode where he can fly or something like that, or he's able to at least use his wings in an attack or something like that, right? Or however he evolves or whatever they do. So it'll be cool
I hope
to see.
they stick with the things they've been doing. Like what game was it? Like Sun and Moon did it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember Sword and Shield too much, but I think they did it. And then like Arceus, where like I love the usable Pokemon that are like you get throughout the story, so that you don't have to have HM.
Oh yes, dude, that was the best thing that they did. Yes, 100%,
100%.
I love that.
That was so good.
Absolutely fine with that.
I don't want an HM
at least the Diamond and Pearl remakes kind of did that, where you just had, the Bidoof.
Do you think because this is kind of going to be similar to Legends Arceus, do you think they'll do the Legends Arceus route instead and have the summonable Pokemon to just do certain? Because they didn't do HMs, right? They just used summon Pokemon and you did stuff.
So just
I can see them.
You summon your
based
Pokemon
on these
like
legendaries, we kind of could see that, which we could get into here in a second if we're done.
All right, we can get to it.
All right, why don't we get into it? We're not done with the Pokemon, obviously, stuff, but here we go. So, if you guys haven't seen the legendary Pokemon stuff, which, again, if you've seen the trailer, again, they spoiled it. So, But we have Koraidon and Miraidon. Okay, so for those of you, we'll have pictures up on the screen right now. So Koraidon is definitely a more what I would call, I guess, natural looking Pokemon in terms of like parts and everything. And Miraidon definitely looks futuristic, right? Well, there is a reason for that. Korai in Japanese actually means ancient pasts, not necessarily past as in like a year or two ago, but ancient past essentially. And Miraidon refers to future. Future means Mirai in Japanese. And that literally shows in their designs, right? Koraidon definitely looks like a more prehistoric Pokemon, and Miraidon definitely looks more futuristic, right? And again, Lethal talks about this a little bit in more detail in the trailer breakdown, so go ahead and check that out if you want to. But they definitely have some bike looking parts to them, at least the more I see it. I mean, especially with the whole handlebar things on the both of their backs and, like, and everything.
Their chest is like a wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. So Koraidon has what looks like half of a wheel on his chest, and then on his head has very long handlebars you could easily see somebody holding on to. Miraidon has two thrusters where his legs are, and then on his like shoulder under back area, they have two little handlebar looking things. And again, on his chest, he's got a half a wheel looking thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do get some kind of Pokemon transportation stuff that we saw in Arceus. And then, hey, by the way, you catch these legendaries, you got a whole new way to travel now. So it could definitely be interesting.
Sick. Like that whole like Breath of the Wild DLC route, and you get a motorcycle Pokemon to ride around in. It would probably be the goofiest thing, but like at the same time, I'm kind of down for it.
Yeah, and if you think about it too, like they even like teased like what looks to be some kind of new Pokemon shop / Pokemon Center gas station thing.
Yeah,
it looks like a little gas station. So everybody keeps thinking like they're gonna incorporate some brand new type of transportation. And I theorized in the video, I was like maybe because obviously these new legendaries are motorcycles. What if it is like motorcycles or something? Like what if that's like, or this looks like this is also takes place in like Spain, and I think Spain uses like mopeds and stuff like that. I think I'm that is literally just me like speaking out of my ass. I have no idea, but they have like those motorized like moped things, right? So like I could see them doing something like that, right? So think of the past games doing the bikes and the running shoes, and if this game it's kind of like motorcycle, well then like motorized scooters or something like that. I can totally see them doing it.
It's very, I mean, it's very similar to a lot of other European countries I know of, and some Asian cities as well, in certain countries where a lot of people ride scooters and everything like that. And I'm not talking your typical push with your foot scooter. I'm talking like full on motor, sit down, looks like a small motorcycle type of thing. So it would not surprise me at all.
You're just funny for saying, like, I have no idea. I'm talking about this, but I think they ride mopeds.
My people, I'm pretty sure I've seen my people ride mopeds in like Puerto Rico. I don't know.
You see them going to Spanish Target and they just go down the aisles in their Heelys. I would love some Heelys in this new Pokemon game.
Oh my god, I can't, dude. I wouldn't be surprised though.
I think that was the whole plot of the movie Luca, which I know is Italian, but that was like the whole plot was they wanted a moped. So I think you're right. Europeans and their mopeds is definitely a thing.
Yep. Well, and then one interesting thing, again, going back to the whole past and future vibe with the legendaries and everything like that, we even see that in the two professors, right? So one clearly has a more prehistoric getup, and then one has a definitely more futuristic getup. So are we gonna see time travel in Pokemon, or is it again just gonna be more of those like, it kind of, like in some kind of like little story on the Pokemon or whatever like that, just says like, legends say that it traveled to the past and the future or something like that, and that's it? Or will we actually see that type of thing, right? I'm thinking more end game here, but who knows? Definitely interesting to see.
I can definitely see them doing that. Like one goes one direction, one goes the other.
Maybe Lechonk has different evolutions there, Chin.
Stop it.
Oh god.
I can't lie though. That Unga Bunga professor, that's
Yo, what is up with that?
That was a good reason to go to Team Scarlet. I'm just saying.
Yo, like a lot of the characters.
The truth comes out. Originally it was for the legendary Pokemon. Now it's for the professor. He's simping over.
I was simping over that Unga Bunga woman, dude. She came from the past to steal my heart. What can I say?
Now, two things I will definitely say, at least for me, real quick, which was interesting, was first off, we got to see our rival, the new rival, Nemona, if I'm pronouncing that correctly there, Lethal. Nemona,
Oh,
is that correct?
Pneumonia? I don't know, like pneumonia? That's how I said it. I was like, oh, like...
Okay.
The Spanish flu.
So, well, I'm reading it like you would in
Spanish
Japanese
flu.
because clearly it's made by a Japanese company. So, but again, I'm not sure. But I did love how you said in your other video, though, how those... though it does also seem that she's not the best at throwing Pokeballs. I'm just like, yeah, what is that about? Why would your
I was reading, I was like,
rival
why did they
who's
say
really good
that?
Yeah, that was
They always do it to a
weird.
rival. The rival's like this like badass person. They're like, yeah, but they can't talk or they can't like buy stuff. I'm like, what? That's such a weird little additive description to give them. But okay,
There's one random thing about your
they
rival.
have to be like,
but,
a little
but then
quirky and different in some way. So sure, go ahead,
Yeah.
go for it.
Exactly. So
I'm
but then
thinking
but then the second thing I noticed was that since Chin talked about it earlier with the whole 4-player co-op thing, which is definitely cool. We're definitely gonna have a 4-player direct little Pokemon get going stream/recording session. We're 100% doing that, by the way. Is that they did show some different costumes and everything, but they do seem to be unfortunately sticking with the whole elementary first year school vibe stuff with the uniform, which I'm still not a big fan of. So I'm really hope that we can get some cosmetics early on.
Yeah.
Not a biggest fan of
It's
that.
really
whole look
bland.
and everything.
Well, also,
Yeah, it's
I like how the Pokestops look like gas stations, which I feel like kind of lends into Lethal talking about mopeds. Like actually as transportation. You imagine all 4 of us ganging up in moped suits, stopping at the Poke gas stations.
Dude, but like, hold
Going
up,
to
wait,
get some
don't
Pokeballs.
attack that Charizard. I gotta go fuel up. Like it's gonna
I
be
get
some
it.
wild times, bro.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some wild times.
You're gonna see this random
I don't even
like
know.
Pokemon that is out like away, just a little bit away from the gas station, and be like, "Come on, we gotta go get it, Lethal! Hurry up, get in the moped already.
I
We're
can't.
leaving without you." And
Do you think they'll add
Get in the
cars? Can we
moped,
get the
loser. There's
squad in
no
a car?
time. We got. Dude, okay, what would actually be cool is I would love for them to bring back that like raid system they had in Sword and Shield, because you have 4
I can see
player
that.
co-op now. If they had some like raid style battle Pokemon, it doesn't have to be Gigantamax, but more of like
Oh God, no!
the mega, like not
please.
mega style, that Arceus style Pokemon where they had like the alphas. They could bring back alphas into it, and like that would be like a raid fight Pokemon, and you all could have a chance to fight it and then catch it separately. Or, it could be like Borderlands where you turn on competitive mode and now you got to battle for each other so someone gets that Pokemon.
Oh God.
Ruin
I don't know,
friendships
I'm
over
just gonna
it.
say
They
this right
have to
now.
do
If we see a
something.
wild Dragonair, I will fight you guys tooth and nail for that Dragonair. You guys are going
Run over
down
all of
for
us
that
with the
Pokemon.
moped,
Oh my God!
Yeah, exactly. No. I'm gonna grab Miraidon because I'm gonna have Violet. I'm gonna activate his boosters. I'm gonna jump on his back and just roadkill you all. And
If
like,
okay,
the
if it
Dragonair's
turns
mine!
out, if it turns out you can ride that Pokemon like that flying bicycle in GTA 5, I'll switch over to Team Violet. Okay,
There we go.
Dude, I can't wait.
It's gonna be a lot
that'll
of
make
fun.
me switch
So.
to Team Violet.
Do you guys
For now,
think
Team
that
Scarlet.
the multiplayer will be limited to some capacity? All right, is it too much? Is
think
it too much for us to be
probably.
excited to think that we're just gonna be able to free roam the entire map?
I feel like you can though because one, the trailer made it seem that way where they split off from each other, and when they showed like the front facing, they were all in different areas of the region. And also remember, this game doesn't have any loading; it's just one big open map now. So I feel like that does lend. I feel like maybe I don't know. I feel like the limited thing might be like, oh, you can't challenge a gym leader, which would suck. But I'd love to be able to complete the story while everyone's there.
I think we'll be able to. Again, I'm not going to expect much simply because I know the Switch is old hardware and Nintendo's online
that's
system is
why
not
I
exactly
just
the
think about
greatest.
it.
Those are the two things I know will hold it back regardless. I'm expecting us to be able to wander around all together, like Chin said, not be obviously bordered off by whatever you see on screen and everything. I don't think we'll be able to do gym battles together, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I kind of get it at the same time. I need to see more, to be perfectly honest, because a website can say whatever it wants. A trailer can frame something the way it wants to. But until we actually see it in game, I feel like there will be some limitations, just whether it's hardware based, network based, or again, anything in between, essentially, right? So it will be interesting. I am at the very least hoping though that all 4 of us, Bobby's not here, but he'll probably be buying the game and playing it. All 4 of us can jump into the game, relax at a gas station, Pokemart, see a Pokemon that we like, I roadkill you all, and then I go catch the Pokemon.
Hey,
so, as long as we can do that.
this because what the game's probably going to come out November, October.
It's
November
November. I
18th.
believe November 18th or something like that.
It might be finally
18th.
time to have a 5/9 direct YouTube stream. That might be possible at that point.
That
very
would
possible.
be a good
Yep.
one.
So, and the 18th is a Friday, which I'm going to get after work, and I'm going to be playing before all of you guys. So
I am going to make sure to get time off at that point. Request some time off because I always fail to
put
do
in
that.
Your notice now. Hey, boss man, I need work off on the 18th of November, June right now. Yeah, I know. Just letting you know, I'm not going to be in for these next few days.
Like,
just letting you know.
Saturday,
no phone
Sunday,
calls and nothing.
Figure it out without me. Sorry.
Yeah. No one messaged me. No one emailed me. Nothing.
They'd be like, but we need you. I'd
busy.
be like, hey, I'm not asking for time off. I'm telling you I'm not coming in. There's a difference.
There is a difference. So, alrighty. So, all right, guys. So, I think in terms of all the news, that is basically it. But do keep in mind real quick before we head off here is that we do have the Xbox Showcase coming up this upcoming week / the beginning of the following week after that. So expect leaks and news breaks and all that stuff happening because you know it always does, right? I mean, E3 was never clean itself. You know, E3 would be like, yeah, we're going to start here. And then you see like a ton of stuff drop like right beforehand for some reason. I even think EA is doing something, if I remember correctly, next week, potentially. I'm not really sure on that one.
Summer Game Fest is the big one.
We haven't heard anything.
EA actually doesn't have anything this year. Not yet. They haven't announced anything.
They don't have anything. Okay, so
yeah, they just did like little like they did the Star Wars Survivor by itself. Like they're doing, I think, one-offs by themselves without having a big event because they probably don't have too much, I think, to share. That's probably what they're doing.
But can we just quick? You brought up Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Real quick. Can I just say I've said it in my video. I said it in the Lethal video that I did with him when it came to talking about the news. Can we get Starkiller in there? I would love to see him become canon again. Because guess what? Force Unleashed is awesome. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, it's mindless swinging and everything, but that character is so badass. Bring him back.
That is where I feel like the sequels failed, is because Disney didn't realize that what people loved about Star Wars is what Force Unleashed gave us. Star Wars it's America's Dragon Ball. Like, you just want to see crazy stuff happen. People using force powers and like I am your father and like heated emotional battles.
Yep.
And Force Unleashed did that really well. I loved the second one. I thought the second one was phenomenal.
Second one definitely failed compared to the first one, in my opinion. But the second one had some upgrades in terms of the gameplay and everything. I feel like
what made the second one kind of fall off was the big reveal at the end where he's just a clone, and it was like, oh, well, okay, so there's just a billion of me. That's lame.
Well, and it showed you that it was definitely setting up for a third game, which unfortunately got canceled when the whole Disney bought Lucas thing.
Yep.
Right. That's the reason all of those games and books and everything now are considered legends. Right. They're not considered quote unquote canon anymore, unfortunately. Right. So it's like you can take that character, do it Respawn, do it EA, bring in Starkiller, have him show you like a quick snip flashback or something like that where he was Darth Vader's apprentice. You know, they tie or something like that, fine. You know, then he's off. He's in the shadows helping the rebels, you know, get things going and everything like that. Have him help Cal here train a little bit so that Cal's not running away like a scared dog. Not that he beats Vader, obviously, because clearly he's not going to, but at least holds his own and can get away properly.
I don't know, man.
Or something like
after episode 3.
I know exactly. I know.
There ain't nothing.
Again, that is 10 years after he got burned originally. Come on, 5 years in between. Like,
I read the Vader comics, and even like the same week after he got burned, he was whooping Jedi butt. Okay,
I know he was.
He's a monster. So. I love Darth Vader. Okay, that's it for me.
All right, but anyway, so we got off track a little bit. Obviously, I had to go off on my because I love
Tallen,
the idea.
You're right. EA will be there at Summer Game Fest. They updated the banner, so they will be there. So they got something.
Yeah. So Summer Game Fest, I believe, starts
Thursday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Thursday.
Okay,
June
so Thursday. 9th. Yeah, there you go.
June 9th.
2
Okay,
p.m.
let's say June 9th because of time zones and everything like that. So June 9th is when the Summer Games Fest goes on, which is basically the quote-unquote replacement for E3 because E3 is not happening this year. We over here at Five Night Gaming will be streaming and everything. We'll be co-streaming it with them. So make sure you check us out, and we'll be covering everything like that. And then all three of us will be doing some kind of combination of shorts and videos and discussions and everything. We'll probably have some special extra mini podcasts after that and everything like that to talk about all the news and stuff. Because again, Xbox Bethesda will be right after that. People are hoping a lot of news from that because after all the delays and everything. And we're hoping to see some good gaming news this year. We really are.
And reminder,
So-
your IMAX theaters are doing special showings of the Summer Game Fest event. I'm going to be going. In fact, Iron's going to be going too. Iron Cane. We
What
share a
actual
pretty
day is
close
that?
by IMAX theater, huh?
What's the day?
June 9th.
11th?
So
9th. June
just they're
Ninth.
doing special stuff there. Jeff Keighley tweeted out that they're going to be giving out like prizes and stuff like that. So I'm kind of praying to God that I get something kind of special. But just as a reminder, if you have an IMAX theater near you, check to see if it's doing one, because they are doing a special thing at IMAX theaters, which is pretty cool.
That's sick. I might.
It's going to be cool, you know.
I'm
It's a nice way to kind of feel like you're at like an E3 event, even though you're not really at one. But you know, it's something.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yep. Yeah, we got that, and then we got Gamescom coming up in August, and the Tokyo Game Show in
And
September.
Nintendo, where the hell is your direct? Like we're all waiting for them to announce it.
Yeah,
It's-
I think I
don't
might
be-
have briefly
it
said
could
it,
be
but
next
where
week.
is the direct for Nintendo?
It could be next week. It could be next week is a big week, so it could be next week. It could be next week.
Or they're gonna wait till after the
Or
Xbox
after,
Bethesda
yeah.
showcase potentially.
Yeah.
But regardless, a lot of stuff coming up real quick, guys. So again, if you haven't already, let us know down in the comments below. What are you most looking forward to seeing? Any kind of reveal or games coming out this year or early next year in 2023? Are you excited for any of the showcases to pop up these next coming weeks? And on the topics that we talked about here, what was your personal favorite and what are your least favorite? So I think with that being said, guys, I think that's about it in terms of all the topics and everything. So unless you guys have something else you want to say before we head out.
Stray
good.
comes
All right,
out July
so-
19th. Buy it. That's it.
Oh,
There we
kitty
go.
cat
Stray
game.
comes out July 19th.
Oh, sorry.
So
If, you
there
have,
we go.
if
So-
you have the new PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium, you get it on your subscription automatically, so you don't have
I
to buy it.
do.
So if you're doing that,
There we go.
you're gonna get blessed. Just that's it. That's all I got.
There we go. All
There
right,
you go.
cool. All right, guys. Well, I think with that being said, though, thank you for everyone who tuned into this week's podcast. My name has been Tallen. I am, of course, joined again by Chin and Lethal, and we've enjoyed just being here with you guys, talking about the gaming news and a little bit about that Obi-Wan Kenobi show and everything like that. So hope you enjoyed. Anyway, guys, we're gonna sign off here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Johnny.
Peace out.